I'm Tracy Baxter with today's Record Newswatch. His many friends are among those who continue to mourn the loss of John Beeler, the 20-year-old Middletown man and former Minisink Valley High School standout athlete who was killed early Saturday morning when the car he was driving crashed into the center median guardrail on Route 17 in Goshen. Beeler was pronounced dead at the scene. He was a cancer survivor whose battle with testicular cancer produced an outpouring of support, and his inspirational fight was profiled in the Times-Herald Record back in 2010. 3 others in the car were badly injured, including Beeler's 24-year-old sister Carolyn, who underwent surgery at Westchester Medical Center. To keep checking back here at Record Online for updates and for any funeral information that is released. He may be Sullivan County's most well-known political leader, but today comes word that longtime Town of Thompson Supervisor Tony Cellini, who has been in the office for the past 20 years, has decided not to seek re-election this year. Cellini, a strong proponent of casino gaming in the Catskill region, is currently serving his 10th two-year term. Prior to his election as supervisor, Cellini served as a Thompson town councilman. More on the story, including possible successors, here at Record Online and in tomorrow's Times-Herald Record. Kingston City Police are calling her death suspicious. The body of 45-year-old Anita Jacobs-Royer was discovered inside her home on 3rd Avenue. Police are awaiting autopsy results to determine the cause and time of her death. Missing is the woman's 1998 black Isuzu Trooper with New York registration GDD 8741. Anyone with information is asked to call Kingston City Police at 331-1671. It was not your normal back-to-class Monday on the SUNY Orange Middletown campus this morning. Leaves caught in a drainage grate outside the biotech building caught fire, possibly from a discarded cigarette, sending smoke through the building's ventilation system and forcing the evacuation of students from the biotech building. The adjoining Hudson Hall was also evacuated as a precaution. The fire call came in at around 9:30, with students and faculty allowed to return to the buildings about a half hour later after the smoke was ventilated from the building. 31 classes in 2 buildings were impacted. There was no report of damage or injuries. They gave their life vests to other men after the World War II Army transport ship they were on was torpedoed by a German U-boat and was sinking in the icy waters of the Atlantic 70 years ago yesterday. On Sunday, the 4 Army chaplains, Methodist minister Reverend George Fox, Rabbi Alexander Good, Roman Catholic priest the Reverend John Washington, and Reformed Church of America minister the Reverend Clark Poling were honored for sacrificing their lives to save others during a ceremony at the National Purple Heart Hall of Honor in New Windsor. Among those at the ceremony, Korean War veteran Eugene Murphy of New Windsor, who said it's important that the sacrifices are remembered. A cotton life vest, like the ones worn by the heroic chaplains, was on display during the interfaith ceremony. It started as a simple traffic stop for a loud exhaust and no brake lights along Haddock Road in the town of Thompson Sunday evening. It ended with charges of grand larceny, possession of stolen property, burglary, and driving while impaired by drugs. After the traffic stop, 24-year-old Matthew Ireland of Rock Hill was taken into custody on the DWI drug charge, but inside his vehicle was electronic equipment and a chair that had been reported stolen from the local Walmart last week. Then a Sullivan County Sheriff's deputy recognized Ireland from a Walmart security tape as the man who stole $1,500 worth of merchandise back on December 1st. Deputies say Ireland would later admit to a burglary at Brother Bruno's restaurant in the Thompson Square Mall, where $1,500 in cash and credit card receipts were taken. 6 more weeks of winter. That's what's in store for us, according to Woodchuck Norris, who put his weather forecasting talents on display Saturday, Groundhog Day, at the Hudson Highlands Nature Museum in Cornwall. And a big crowd turned out to witness Woodchuck Norris's prognostication.
This is his first prognostication, so he's new to it all, but I think we should be able to get an accurate prediction from him today. It is actually a Germanic tradition. It started in Europe and brought over, and as the German people settled in Punxsutawney, they started doing it in 1856. But our woodchuck, it's the first time for him today, and his name is Woodchuck Norris, and he's going to do his prediction. And I believe that since I have German ancestry, I should be able to speak groundhogese and understand his dialect.
Then, after the proper build-up, the big moment arrived.
Are you ready? He says he does see his shadow, and there is 6 more weeks of winter. I said there's 6 more weeks of winter.
Another prediction Woodchuck Norris made Saturday did not come true. According to Carl, his furry sidekick predicted the San Francisco 49ers would win the Super Bowl. And while most of us were doing our best to keep warm on Saturday, there were these folks who chose to jump into Highland's icy Berrien Lake for a very good cause. The occasion was the 3rd annual Sub-Zero Heroes Ice Jump for Alzheimer's, and many of the jumpers dressed the part in superhero garb. Among them, area radio personality Bob Miller, whose father-in-law was stricken with Alzheimer's disease. In all, about 120 people took the plunge and raised more than $50,000 to help in the ongoing fight against Alzheimer's. And hopefully all those folks have warmed up since then. Well, warmth will be hard to find around here in the days ahead, and we could wake up to another dusting of snow tomorrow morning. The forecast for Tuesday.